Hey everybody, welcome back to Heart Breathings. My book is finished and it feels so good to actually be showered and out of deadline mode and have my hair done and everything and to be back in our Heart Breathings videos. Thank you guys so much for being so patient as I worked to finish that book. Vengeful Darkness, the 11th book of my Shadow Demon saga, is out in the world and people are reading it and it is just such a crazy feeling. So if you would like to support me and go grab that book, I will leave the link for you down below. If you have not started my Shadow Demon saga, it is a wild ride, and I know that you would love it if you enjoy paranormal type witchy books. So go grab it. You can get the first 3 books for free, so I will link that for you down below as well. In the meantime, I have a lot to catch up on, not the least of which is this crazy office, which you can't even see all the mess here. So I will be cleaning that up soon, but I wanted to come on today to let you know about our Don't Break the Chain challenge. So this is something I have been excited about and planning to go kind of in conjunction with Camp NaNoWriMo coming up. So if you have been missing these videos, definitely grab your drink of choice. I have some Starbucks coffee here, and let's chat about the Don't Break the Chain challenge. I have a free workbook for you to download if you want to take part in it, and we'll also chat a little bit about Camp NaNoWriMo. Okay, so let's talk about what is Don't Break the Chain. So you may be familiar with this already as a productivity tool or something that's been going around in productivity circles for a while, but it basically comes from an interview that Jerry Seinfeld, the famous comedian, did, where people were asking him, you know, how did you become disciplined enough to be writing so many good jokes all the time and everything else? And he said that when he was a comedian just starting out, basically as a writer, because comedians are, of course, writers too, he put a big calendar on his wall, and every day he would write a joke and then put a big red X on the day. And then he said, I just didn't break the chain, meaning that every single day he sat down and he did his writing and he put a red X on there and he kept that chain of red X's going. And I love this as a productivity tool because if you are trying to build a habit of being a more consistent writer, really sitting down and working on your craft every day, then having that visual representation, which you know I love because of the Kanban board and all of the other visual things that I use in my own planning. It's that visual representation of, yes, I did it. I crossed the day off. And then there's also that feeling of wanting to keep that chain going, wanting to keep that habit of sitting down every day and doing a minimum amount that lets you know you got your work done. Well, after the craziness of missing a pre-order deadline and really struggling through anxiety and having to pick myself up out of anxiety to get this book done, I have decided that I'm going to really start to prioritize making my writing a daily habit. And the first place to start is for me with something like this, a Don't Break the Chain challenge. And it's perfect to go hand in hand with Camp NaNoWriMo, which starts July 1st. That's why I had to get this video out. I wanted to do it last week, so now we're doing it. We've got 2 days before Camp NaNoWriMo begins. I have some other videos on what Camp NaNoWriMo is, and I'll link those for you down below. But just briefly, NaNoWriMo stands for National Novel Writing Month, and that is a big event in November. But twice a year in April and July, they do a Camp NaNoWriMo where you get to set your own goal. So you can set a word count goal, a time goal, an editing goal, whatever you want. And it doesn't have to be 50,000 words like it does in November. It's very chill. Nobody's grading you. It's really about community. So if you would like to participate in Camp NaNoWriMo, you just need to sign up on the NaNoWriMo website, or if you already have an account because you've done Nano before, you'll just need to set up a new project for Camp NaNoWriMo and associate it. Like it says, do you want to associate this with an event? Just select Camp NaNoWriMo, set up your goal for the month. I think my goal for the month is going to be 30,000 words, although I'm not sure I'm going to be able to hit that. So I might bump it down to 20,000, but set up your goal however you want and then jump in. If you would like to participate in the Heart Breathings Don't Break the Chain challenge, you can do it on your own. We'll also do a few checkups here on YouTube in the community tab, but we will also have weekly posts going up in my Facebook group, which is called the Heart Breathings Word Sprint Challenge. In that Facebook group, we have daily live sprints going on. We also have monthly events like a double down day the first Saturday of every month where you're challenged to write double your normal word count, and then the third weekend of every month month, we do a full out virtual writing retreat where there are writing sprints that are going on all day. And we have a theme, like we just did the Orient Express and there was a murder mystery involved. So it's really fun and it's a great community. So we'd love for you to join us. But either way, you can go to the link down below and sign up for my newsletter to get this download, which I'm going to tab through and show you in just a minute. Or if you're already on my newsletter list, you should have received an email today with a link to download that from the HB resource library. So hopefully you found that today as well. So the basic idea of this challenge is just like Jerry Seinfeld, to sit down every day. Maybe you're writing jokes, maybe you're writing a novel, maybe you're just working on your plot, whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to set your own parameters for what it means to have a successful day that you feel like you've done enough to cross off that X. So you're going to set the parameters, but the basic idea is to sit down every day in the month of July and don't break the chain. So there are going to be a few things, though, that I'm going to let you decide on your own for what's your personal commitment. So the first is, do you actually want to write every day, or do you want to give yourself a little bit of a break? Because while I do think it is valuable to have a Don't Break the Chain challenge where you literally write every single day, I also have been in a battle with my own anxiety and my own mental health. And it is just not good for every single person to sit down and write for an hour or 2 hours every single day. It's also not totally possible to sit down and write every day for some of you, because maybe you work a 12-hour day or you have some other type of schedule where you're on and then off or whatever. So one of the first things you're going to do is you're going to sit down with the calendar and you're going to decide which days count as your Don't Break the Chain challenge, because maybe you're going to write every single day in July, or maybe you know you have to take Saturdays off, but you're going to commit to every other day besides Saturdays, or whatever it's going to be for you. So you sit down and you decide, what are the days that are going to count as your writing day that you have to write in order to get your little red X? The second thing you're going to decide is what counts as a successful day for you. Because for some of you, it might be enough to just say, I'm going to sit down for 10 minutes and do a 10-minute sprint where I write at least 50 words. And that might be enough for you to count as I sat down, I got my work done, I showed up. For others of you, you might want to challenge yourself to a little bit more and say, it doesn't count as a full day where I can get my X until I've written 1,000 words. So you set that minimum word count or minimum time commitment and you say, this is the minimum I have to do to earn my red X. So like I said, in this workbook, there's going to be a little questionnaire here that asks you, I will write on the following days. What are you committing to? In order for my day to count, that I can get a red X, I have to what? I have to write 1,000 words. I have to spend at least 30 minutes. I have to get 2 pages of editing done. What is your parameter there for what counts as a successful day? This month I will be working on, which means you're committing to what? I'm going to be editing and plotting my new novel. I'm going to be writing the rough draft. What are you working on? I'm going to be working on a series of blog posts, whatever it is, but just make a commitment as to what you're planning to work on. And if you don't know yet what you're going to work on, then just put, I will explore it as we get closer. And then the final thing is my goal for the month is. So here in this section, you can write out, my goal for the month is 30,000 words, or my goal for the month is 20 red X's, whatever it's going to be. But you will sit down with this questionnaire and you will determine those parameters for yourself, and it's going to be awesome. So if you can, I highly recommend that you set a lower goal, but try to keep it more consistent. So for me, I'm going to set probably just a 500 words a day goal, and I'm going to try to write every single day. We are going on vacation, but we're going to be at an Airbnb. It's going to be very chill. And I feel like I can sit down for 30 minutes and write 500 words. So since I've just finished my last book, I'm actually going to be working on the next book in that series, which is the final book in a series I've been working on for a decade. So I know it's going to take me some time. So I'm going to spend in the month of July at least 500 words a day writing about the plot. So I'm going to be kind of exploring and thinking through and writing out any scenes that come to me that I know are going to follow on, like maybe the reaction to the ending to this last book or whatever. So I'm hoping by the end of the month, I guess that would be something a little over 15,000 words, but I'm actually hoping for at least 20,000. So I think I'm going to go into the Camp Nano website and I'm going to change my goal to 20,000, but I'm hoping, of course, that when I sit down to write those 500 words a day, it'll, even out that a few days I'll go a couple hundred words over. But sometimes that's all it takes. Like 500 words sounds like it's nothing for a lot of us. Like, oh, I could sit down and write 500 words a day. And we don't understand that really, if we sat down and did that little bit every day, we would have almost 20,000 words of a novel by the end of each month, which is really big deal. And what I tend to do is I resist it. I don't want to sit down. I have so many other things going on. My kids are pulling at my attention, or there's so many distractions. And then I get down to my deadline, which is what happened to me recently. And I have to sort of force my creativity into, okay, I've got 20 days to finish this novel. And now I've got to write like 5,000 words a day, and I've got to get it done really quickly. And I have been kind of on this binge writing train for 10 years, and I'm ready to get off the train. And instead I'm getting on the chain, which totally sounded cheesy, and I apologize, but I'm a little bit giddy from finishing the book. I really want to develop a stronger writing habit. I don't want it to be something that causes stress in my life, but I want to ease into it with joy and feeling like I can have my time in the morning where I write, and then in the afternoons, I can know that I did something towards my craft, that I did something towards my novel, and that I kept a touch point with it throughout the day. And I think this is really going to help me. And so I'm going to do the Don't Break the Chain challenge in July. And if it works out really well, I may continue to do it. So I'm going to show you now a top-down view of what this worksheet looks like and the workbook looks like, because even if you don't want to join my newsletter and you don't want to sign up for the actual download, you can do this with a regular planner or calendar. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Yay. Okay. So here's the download. And like I said, if you just really don't want to sign up for another newsletter, I totally understand. Although my newsletter is awesome. So come join us. I put this little folder behind it so you could see it on this white surface, but there is just the cover. And for some reason, my printer did not print double-sided on the cover. I don't know what's happening there. I'm not going to worry about it. The first page just explains to you the challenge rules, which is what I've just talked to you about, like determine your minimum amount that you want to do, print out the calendar. In here, I'll kind of show you what the calendars look like. So just read through the rules. Then on this next page is that commitment page where you're going to say, I'm going to write every day but Saturdays, or I'm going to write all 31 days. In order for the day to count, I commit to 30 minutes, 1 hour, or it could be how many pages you want to edit. It could also be what word count you want to hit. I commit to 100 words every single day. And don't compare yourself to anybody else or what they're trying to do. Just do what makes you feel good. Something that feels realistic for you, that you could do easily. I really want to encourage you when you're trying to make a habit like this, not to do something that feels like a huge stretch. Like if you usually write 500 words a day and that's a struggle, set yourself to 400 words a day or 250 words so that it feels trivial to sit down and get it done. Don't feel like you need to set 1,000 words, like I'm going to stretch myself every single day, because that is how we set ourselves up for failure. And I think that it's detrimental to trying to set a habit that makes you feel good. Set something that feels really easy. Like even if you've had a bad day, you're struggling, you've got like everything seems to have gone wrong. You spilled your coffee, you got a hole in your tire, like all these things have gone wrong. What's the amount that feels like, even if all those bad things have happened, I can still sit down and write 100 words. I know I can do it. I can do it in 20 minutes. It's going to be fine. Set something that feels trivial. And then every day, try to sit down and get that done at a minimum. So set what feels like an easy minimum. And then if you feel inspired, get a ton more than that. Like you can set a goal for 100 words minimum and still write 5,000 words in that day. But you need to account for the bad days. And I think so often what we do in productivity and goal setting is we set ourselves up for being superhuman every single day. What can I get done if I was my best, most inspired self at all times? But we're never our best, most inspired selves every day. And if we expect that of ourselves, we're just setting ourselves up for failure. And then failure builds negative momentum, which means that next time you sit down, you feel discouraged, you feel behind, you feel like you're already failing. And I really, really encourage you to set that minimum goal to count for the day as something that feels like no matter what kind of crap day I've had, I know I can get this done at a minimum. Then once you start to see that, wow, my minimum was 100 and I did 1,000 every day, then you start to build positive momentum and then you get excited to sit down And then if you hit a bad day, you don't feel like you're behind. You're like, whoa, I'm still way up from my goal. Like setting yourself up for that kind of positive experience where you're having fun is priceless. So let's focus more on that than hustling to be our best selves at all times, which just isn't realistic for most of us. Then this month I'll be working on just a little bit of journaling here about what you're going to write or what your edits are or what you're doing this month, and then what your goal is for the month, how much you hope to get done by the end of the month. And again, if it's 100 words a day and you're going to write all 31 days, then just put 3,100 here as your goal. And then you could also put a stretch goal. Like when I do HB90, I like to do a good, better, best goal. And my good goal is usually whatever feels like the minimum. Then better is like, okay, this was a little bit of a stretch. And then best is kind of like my wildest dreams. So if I'm setting a goal for 500 words a day, I'm going to put that, 15,500 words or whatever it is, down as my goal for the month. And then my better goal might be 20,000. And then my best, wildest dreams goal might be 30,000 in the month. And then you can know that even if you hit that bottom number, you still got it done. Okay, so then the rest of it is just the calendars. So I've given you 4 options for the calendars just because it was easy to kind of shift to them. What I've given you for one is a July Sunday start with a quote that has a heart on it. It says, "This is how you do it. You sit down at the keyboard and you put one word after the other until it's done. It's that easy and that hard," which is a great quote from Neil Gaiman. So then you've got your July calendar, and this is where you're going to take your Sharpie pens or your red pen or whatever it is you want to do. And July 1st, you sit down, you get your 100 words or your 2 hours or whatever you set, and you cross it off with an X. You could, if you want, put a circle or however you want to do it. But the goal, obviously, is by the end of the month to have all of your X's done. Now, what I do recommend is that if over here you say, I'm going to write on the following days, and you know, let's say, for example, you work 12 hours on Saturday, and you're just not going to be able to write on Saturdays. Or let's say you've got a wedding coming up from the 5th, 7th, 6th, and 7th, and you're going to be flying, and there's just no way you can do it. I would just go ahead and recommend that you mark those days out with this kind of cross, or you could go ahead and X them off because they're still going to count towards your chain. You're just going to kind of leap over that day or that set of days, because I still want it to be realistic even for those of you that have some other commitments going for the month. So either one, you can cross them out like this, or if it was Saturdays, you could just go ahead and leave your X there, and then you know these are the days that you're committing to write. However you want to do it is fine. So there's 4 versions of the calendar, and I've just realized I've printed out some of the wrong ones, so don't worry about that. It will be right when you download it. But there's a Sunday start with the heart. Then there's a Monday start with the heart, but like I said, I accidentally printed the wrong one. Then there's a Monday start without the heart and a Sunday start without the heart. They're basically the same. It's just you've got a Sunday and Monday start. So I gave you all 4 options, and you can print them out. You can print it so that you can laminate it and put it up on your wall. You can put it into your calendar. I don't have these in A5 size or anything like that, but if you want to print them out in half letter, which is close to A5 size, you can just use the booklet feature on your printer if you have it, or you can print it at 50%. If you want to fit this into your happy planner, you would just print it at 84% scale and cut it from there. So this is your Don't Break the Chain challenge. And like I said, if you just don't want to download the free workbook, you can just use any calendar. So if you have a planner or you have like a wall calendar, you can use that. You can even go on to Google Calendar. It's just like calendar.google.com, and you can click to erase the like holidays and stuff on there. And then you can actually just print a full monthly calendar free from Google Calendar as well if you want. Either way you do it, I gave you a pretty one. I'm going to decorate this with washi tape, and I'm probably going to use multicolored pens so that I can cross them out in a different color every day, and I think it's going to be super fun. I'll probably go like in kind of a rotation so that it looks really cute and pretty. And by the end of the month, hopefully I will have every single day marked off. Like I said, for myself, I'm setting that 500 word goal because I feel like it's pretty easy for me to get there, because I'm just drafting. I'm not like going to really think about edited words. I'm just going to get stuff on the page, and I know that I can do 500 words in half an hour. So I'm committing basically to half an hour a day, and maybe I'll get a little beyond it. Let me know in the comments what you are committing to, and if you're going to participate in this challenge, and if you're also doing
Camp NaNoWriMo.
Okay, so that is our Don't Break the Chain challenge. I would love for you to come join the Facebook group, which has over 1,000 members in it now and lots of great administrators who do tons of live videos. There's going to be a weekly post for Don't Break the Chain where you can come in every day and say, here's what I got done. I didn't break the chain. Or you can post a picture of your calendar as we go throughout the month. I will also put a Don't Break the Chain community post here on the community tab of my YouTube channel if you want to participate in that way. And then we'll do a few updates throughout the week. I would love, love, love to have you on my Heart Breathings newsletter list. You will get a free download for this particular workbook, but there are tons of free workbooks there for you, including how to plot your novel, how to edit your novel, how to write a series, and also some word count trackers and other things there for you. And I'm consistently adding to it, so I would love for you to come join us. I only send an email about once a week, so I would love to have you there. Another challenge that I'm going to be doing just for my own personal health and transformation is going to be called the 6 Months for Life Challenge. I won't be doing that challenge here on my Heart Breathings YouTube channel. I'm going to actually be doing vlogs and coffee chats about that project on my Sarra Cannon YouTube channel. So if you didn't know, I have a second YouTube channel where I do readings of my books, and this one is more for fans, more so than writers, but I know that writers are also readers. So if you'd like to come join over there and hang out with us as a Sarra Cannon Coven community, then you can come join us there. I'll be doing a live coffee chat Wednesday, June 30th at 4 p.m. where we're going to talk about what's going into the 6-month project. The basic idea of it, though, is I am so ready to get my mental health and my physical health back on track. I've talked about this before, that I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it causes a lot of issues, especially after being postpartum and everything else. So I am ready to get my life back on track so that I can really step into who I most want to be. So I'm going to be doing vlog updates and different things like that. And the idea basically is I'm going to spend the next 6 months so much on myself and my mental health and working through the things I need to work on so that it will transform the rest of my life. So I'm building a foundation over the next 6 months, which is why it's called 6 Months for Life. So if you want to see what all that involves over there, which is going to be talking about everything from my spiritual practice to my diet to what's going on with our house contract and everything else, then I would love for you to join us there. I will leave some links for you down below. And let me know in the comments, are you going to join in Camp Nano? What are you working on? And are you going to take the leap and join the Don't Break the Chain challenge for Heart Breathings? I would love to see you. If you want to tag me on Instagram, we're going to use a hashtag HBDBTC, Heart Breathings Don't Break the Chain. So I would love to see that hashtag going up with people keeping a track of what days they have. Also, I will not be using a red pen. I'm totally going to use colorful pens for this, and that's just as fine. So if you want to participate, I would love to see your results as we move through the month as well. All right, you guys, it's so good to be back. That joy of finishing a book. Now I need to clean my office and get back on track with everything else I had planned. There are going to be some amazing things coming up here. If you enjoyed this video and you like being a part of this community, please hit that thumbs up button so that YouTube can recommend this to even more people. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.